And here we go again. At this point, I'm just caught up in frustration.
And what a great moment to practice this.
Yes, exactly. For me, this process, thinking about it with curiosity and where am I in this process? Where do I need to go? It just guides me right through to get down to the seed or the core belief and to excavate down deep within myself.
Welcome to the Awakened Couple podcast. I'm Steph.
And I'm Lane. Here we explore how relationship becomes a mirror for awakening, a path to deeper truth and real growth.
Today we're going to be taking a deeper look at the reflection process here. And so if this resonates, you can hit subscribe and share it with someone. So,
right.
Yeah.
What is the reflection process?
Yeah, we kind of talked a little bit about it. I mean, obviously reflection, the way we talk about it is where someone is mirroring aspects of ourselves so that we can understand more about what's going on inside of us, our belief structures, our emotions, our behavior patterns, any kind of unresolved stuff that we haven't become conscious of and chosen whether we want to keep this or whether we want to change it or just chuck it out altogether. So the process itself, I'm just going to run through that really fast because Lane has a lovely example too. So we start it with the experience, which is kind of what's happening outside of you. Before I've said like Lane rolled his eyes at me, but he's going to have fun with his computer for this example. So it could be a conversation, an event, a situation, anything you're hearing, seeing, doing, any kind of input that comes in, and it's kind of getting filtered through your belief system that you may not be aware of. And so that can color what you actually experience coming in. And then based on what you're able to perceive, you interpret that, kind of make a story, decide what's going on. And then you move to assessing. Is this a threat? Do I have enough capacity to handle this? Is this a threat to my personality, to my actual safety, that kind of thing? And if it is, that's going to kick in a stress response or an emotion like anger and frustration, as Lane's going to show. And then you go into creating strategies. This is all happening so fast in your mind. You're not even aware of it. When we decide something is a threat, our strategies narrow down to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Like, that's it. We lose all the other choices of learning something new or asking questions. I mean, it's all gone. That shuts most of your brain.
Your focus becomes very convergent.
Very narrow.
On that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then I've got update belief on here, but update or reinforce. And in the unconscious version, usually we're trying to reinforce the same beliefs that we have. We're not trying to open or expand ourselves at that point. We've shut ourselves
autopilot.
Down. Mm-hmm. And we're just going with the same beliefs that we've always had. And from that kicks out the same behavior on repeat. And then we just keep doing that over and over because hence the circle. So you are going to give your example of, I think we decided it was a me mirror and even kind of a wound activation, like some young thing that you...
It started out as a me mirror and then it evolved into a wound mirror.
As you understood more about it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it just kind of unfolded. And this is how a lot of our reflections go. So this is a very simple example. I'm not the most efficient at IT work. And during this work, I needed to work on a software that did some editing for us, and that's Riverside. Really, I mean, aside from my experience with it, it's very versatile. So I'm thinking, okay, this will be a slam dunk. I'm just going to load a video up and I'm going to edit it. And I ended up going around and round in circles for I don't know how long. I could not get anything to work. And so I began getting impatient and frustrated. I'm looking at their tutorials, and I'm just not getting anywhere with what I wanted to do on it.
I'm starting to hear swearing.
And at one point, I probably would have pounded down on my laptop, but that wouldn't help. So
I think you
started-
may have even asked me once, and I'm like, did you Google it? And you're like,
heck no. So then I started passing judgment on the software, which makes absolutely no sense. So cursing at the people that wrote the software, this is not user-friendly, and here we go again. So at this point, I'm still kind of unconscious of the whole process, and I'm just caught up in frustration, and I just want to move through this as fast as I can. So right away, I'm cutting down my capacity to handle this problem because I've imposed a time limit on myself. I want it done now.
and you've gone into stress mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it really hard to calm your brain down enough to actually learn something from the videos you're watching.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Logic goes out the window. There is no reasoning at this point. So I start to go into stress response, and I basically choose to fight back, which also makes no sense.
There's nobody really to fight there.
And since I'm fighting, I'm reinforcing that the belief computer programmers assume that everyone knows what they mean and how to operate their software.
But
and,
they don't make it for people who don't. Yeah.
So I get this far, and Stephanie can hear me, and I'm over here cursing at my computer. And so then she encourages me to step away a little bit.
And what a great moment
Which
to practice this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
practicing what
I
we
promise
preach.
I promise I wasn't that tacky about it. but
Okay,
hopefully.
so one of the first things that Steph asked me is, what story am I telling myself? Now I'm getting engaged to step out of stress,
Yeah,
as
so
best I
right, yeah.
can, and become curious. And so with Steph, we're working together now. I'm becoming conscious, or more conscious.
You mentioned
And-
curious, and I think curious and asking questions like, okay, wait, is it actually true that these programmers are idiots and they don't try to make anything that makes sense for real humans?
Of course not.
But just asking that question, it just cracks the door a little bit to
Mhm.
curiosity, to questioning yourself. And I think curiosity might actually be a real antidote for that stress response.
I believe it is. So what story am I telling myself? And
And what if it's
could
not
there be
true?
yeah, could there be more to it? And I started to ask myself, why in the world would I just sit down and ignore the tutorials pretty much and then try to work the software? I've done that before. I mean, other software that's maybe not quite as complex.
And your answer was because you wanted to get it done quickly. You
Mhm.
didn't feel like you had the time for all of that.
I had set myself up.
And that's a capacity issue.
Yep.
Right there. Like
Yeah.
two capacity issues, really.
Mhm.
I don't know enough yet, and
Mm-hmm.
haven't left myself enough time. Yeah, it was.
So with questioning, I started digging back, and this is actually a repeating pattern. And what I discovered is a belief that I must have picked up during childhood, that I'm not smart enough.
Oh, the moment you said that, I was like, oh, that right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was traveling down through a lot of layers. But interestingly, I have overlaid those layers with other layers that I am smart. So
You kind of have competing
I
beliefs. going.
never got down to the core belief that I'm not strong enough.
I know. I mean, that you're not smart enough, even though you have disproven that by finishing high school, by getting multiple engineering degrees, by running a successful
Anybody
business.
could have gotten engineering degrees.
But I mean, you worked your ass off. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to swear.
Beep. Oh, sorry.
I mean, you worked really hard for those, and it was, maybe this is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So with this realization, that's something for me to work on. But getting back to the software, what was the plan of attack? What was the change in behavior that I would make to avoid this in the meantime? And it might seem kind of obvious after we've told the story, but
Yeah, you started, I'm going to just pause for a second.
yeah.
You started running simulation loops, like, okay, tries what strategies might work, and you would run a simulation loop in your mind of, okay, if I
made time to learn the software. And so,
I think you also were like, even in the short run, you could just ask for help.
right,
Yeah.
which kind of runs against some guy stuff. But obviously the sensible thing to do is make time to go through the tutorials. But on top of that, I'm like, okay, now this really built a fire under me, and I want to master the Riverside editing software. And so now I'm not only curious about it, but I'm charged up, kind of excited now, as I'm taking a new perspective. And as far as the capacity goes, I set no artificial limits on how long it's going to take to go through the tutorials. I just know that in the proper frame of mind, it's going to take much less time than if I'm all stressed out and trying to piecemeal doing the editing. So
have you beta tested this yet? Have you sat down with Riverside or some other software and beta tested working with it, with that new story, that new belief that I am smart enough, it's just that I haven't learned how to do it yet?
yeah. No, I have not beta tested it yet.
Wow.
So
Maybe we should
it's
do it
on
right
my
now.
list of things to do.
We should do it now live. Really put you on the spot.
We'll save that for the next podcast, perhaps.
No, maybe not. Nobody wants to watch that.
Now, when I go back into the Riverside software, I'm going to be on the lookout for any triggers, and I'm going to catch it right away and recenter myself, and then proceed on with my plan to
Yeah.
master the software.
One of the most obvious places to catch yourself is when you start behaving in a way that runs counter to who you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's the most obvious, I think, place, is like you start watching your own behavior and you're like, oh, this is not cool.
I actually have envisioned myself sitting down at the computer, working through the tutorials. So I'm kind of setting it up in my mind that I'm going to go through this patiently and really absorb everything about it. And then that way, once I work with the software a little bit and get the hang of it, I won't have to deal with it again.
Yeah.
And correcting this, getting to this core belief is going to have effects in other areas of my life. So there's, collateral issues will be probably addressed.
Yeah. So we talked about a few things here that are really helpful for getting through this process, because once we get stressed, it's going to shut down all of those higher thinking parts of the brain and narrow down our choices. It's not only have we created a story that's running through some unconscious belief that we've got about ourselves and about the world, we've now come to deciding that everything is a threat and we have to just strategize with, a nervous system freak out and choose to fight back or run away, try to, shut down, whatever your version of running away is, slam the computer shut.
Or Yeah, or back away a little bit and ratchet down the stress response.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where we talk a lot about that in that free PDF that we have on the website that people can get at awakencouple.com. So, yeah.
So when I said that I chose to fight, that's the energy of not giving up. And so it can be like a double-edged sword, but I'm using that energy, that fight energy, and channeling it into
a positive
yeah,
that's nice.
thing to propel me through the tutorials, hopefully.
I like that.
And for me, this process, thinking about it with curiosity and where am I in this process? Where do I need to go? It just guides me right through all the steps to get down to, of course, with a partner, to get down to the seed or the core belief and discussing, well, it's in the beginning, it's more of me talking, and every once in a while you would ask a question, but you allowed me to excavate down deep within myself.
And then getting down to that core belief, I mean, the one you got down to just with the example you gave today of I'm not smart enough, like that goes way the
back.
minute you said that, I could see like a 7 or 8 year old little boy believing that about himself. And I was like, that's just so wrong. So wrong.
Yeah. I tell you what, there have been many times where we've gotten down to core belief that I have just bawled like a child. It goes that far back. I think that is, and I think we're going to cover that in more detail about our pre-verbal and childhood ages.
In the next couple of podcasts, we are going to talk more about the stress response and how it affects this whole process. Because this, again, is just a cognitive process. But when you throw that stress response in there, cognition kind of goes out the window. It narrows down so much. And we're going to have another one about beliefs, our belief systems, and how they filter right off the bat. They filter what's coming in so that this whole process is now distorted.
Right.
So that's all we have for today. So
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thanks for joining us on the Awakened Couple podcast, where a relationship becomes a path to awakening.
If you'd like a deeper dive, just visit us on awakencouple.com and join us early and get a discount on your membership. So we will see you next time.
Bye.